Alright folks, I was looking through the laws of the game and I was reading Law 1, which is titled The Field of Play. I never read this law. I never even pay attention to it. And it's got stuff in it like the dimensions of the field, goal line technology, VAR, commercials and like logos and stuff, you know, emblems. I'm never out on the field with a tape measure. I am not using VAR very often. Goal line technology, I've never been on the game with that. That would be awesome. So for the majority of people, you know, a lot of the stuff in this law just doesn't really apply to the games that you're doing. So this video is about a couple things that might be helpful to you, kind of like practical advice, wisdom, tips about Law 1. I want to make 5 points. The first point, corner flags need to be at least 5 feet tall. It's just for safety. We don't want a player to fall on the corner flag and pierce themselves, okay? For that reason also, the top of the corner flag cannot be sharpened like an arrowhead or a knife or something. It's got to be blunt or dull, right? So that someone would not hurt themselves if they fell on it. So if you can't have flags that are at least that tall, toss them. Get rid of them. Point number 2, sometimes I'll be in games and I'll have the defenders will run right up to the offensive player who's taking the corner kick, and I'll have to like back them out, and they'll like want to know how far to go. Well, on games that are well marked, there will actually be a couple of these side marks here and here near the corner flag, and those side markings are 10 yards away from the corner flag. So you just tell them to back up to that line and then you're done. So it's pretty easy, really simple. Then you don't got to go over there and mark it off. Point number 3, people cannot make marks on the field. So where you'll see this typically is a goalkeeper will like take his foot and he'll be scuffing at, you know, one of the penalty area lines or one of the goal area lines so that he can get his bearings so that he doesn't have to turn around and see where the goal is, right? So he'll just keep on looking forward and he can just glance down and see where he's at in relation to the mark that he made, so then he doesn't need to turn around to say, oh, I'm right in the middle of the goal or I'm off to the right or the left-hand side, okay? He's not allowed to do that. That's cheating. That's a cautionable offense, so don't let that happen. Watch the goalkeepers during warm-up because this would be an opportune time for them to do so. I've never run into this in any of my games, but just kind of a heads up. This would not be, I don't think this is uncommon. Point number 4. Lines belong to the areas that they enclose. So let's just for the sake of example, let's say the penalty area had like a 1 foot wide line going around it. Like let's say that the width of the line was as wide as this notebook, okay, going around the whole penalty area. Wow, that's a really thick line, right? Is the line in or out? The line is in. The line is part of the area that it encloses, okay? So line is in. This is true for the goal area, for the penalty area, for the touch lines, for the goal line. Okay, line is in. So the entirety of the ball needs to be entirely outside of the line for it to be outside of the area. Okay, so line is part of the area that it encloses. And lastly, finding the penalty marker. I can't tell you how many games that I've been at where there is no penalty dot, and I'm like, shoot, how many steps is it out? Is it 10 steps out? Is it 12 steps out? Is it 15 steps out? And I just forget. So here's an easy way to remember. The penalty marker will always be halfway between the top of the goal area and the top of the penalty area. So this line that my finger is showing you is the top of the penalty area. This line that my finger is showing you is the top of the goal area. So halfway between that line and that line is right where your penalty marker should be. So if it's not marked there, you can eyeball it, go to that spot, and then get on with the penalty kick. If you are just got a good memory, remember it's 12 yards out, okay? Another way to help you remember that it's 12 yards out is the goal area, guys. This little one down here. This is also known, like slang-wise, this is called the 6-yard box. because this top line is 6 yards from the goal line. The big penalty area is sometimes called the 18-yard box. I've heard it referred to. So halfway between 6 and 18 is 12. So that's right where that spot is. So again, it's something that might help you to remember that. Okay, that's it for Law 1. Hope that's useful. See you in the next video.